Welcome to another day, another video. Today we are going to talk about the 5 things that most people don't really get about the ROG Ally. So first, it is advertised as a product that is going to work like a PC. It works on Windows 11. I don't believe that it was ever advertised as a console. So what we have is literally just a laptop with a different form factor, because now laptops can become so slim, people can just fit the board inside this. I mean, of course, not as separate GPU and everything, but the form factor of the motherboard can fit in this thing with how technology has evolved, and I believe it should be treated as such. It is a laptop, like literally, it is a laptop. You can dock it, you can do everything with it, the same as a PC. You can have productivity apps, you can have everything inside there. But the thing is, most people treat it like it's supposed to be a console, but it's not. Like, just because it has the form factor of a Switch doesn't mean that it is a Switch. And I don't believe anyone else have said it about those other Windows handhelds. But somehow most people for this one keep talking about it like it was supposed to be like this. Maybe they are confused with that situation that happened with some guy that was working on a project on hackathon, and he showed this could be how Windows are as a handheld, but that actually didn't happen. Number two, there is still no official AMD drivers for the Z1 Extreme chipset. I don't think most people understand this because they can still go into the AMD software app and they think that they have the official drivers. I believe other YouTubers have said it repeatedly as well. We still don't have official drivers, and it's really hard to judge right now. I would expect in some games we may have better performance, but to be honest, with AMD and drivers, I can't really put my finger on it because I have had really bad experience in general years ago with AMD, so I can't really trust it just from personal experience. Even though right now, in most of the games, it still works fine and better than most others. Number three, the battery life is surely expected within the idea that we have about this one using 40 40 watts per hour battery. And if you simply deduct those math, you can understand that when you use this full power of this device, well, what you can expect. Maybe 1 hour you disable CPU boost because it is a bit complicated how you can disable it, but when you do, you'll be able to see better performance in some games, but in general better temperatures, and it will use less watts if it needs to. Because what the CPU boost does is it overclocks, it does use the boost that it has inside, and when it does that, it uses more power than it should. Like, it could use the same power without the boost. So that is the point. And one thing that I also said in other videos, I want to express again. People seem to have very short memory about these things. I own a Switch. Day one. Day one Switch. Day one Switch playing Breath of the Wild. Was it great? No. You were playing for 1 hour, maybe two. 1.5 hours, maybe two. That was it. That was it. People somehow didn't pass too much on that. Or maybe they forgot later on, because the same happened with the Steam Deck as well. Many problems on the launch, but again, people treat it like a product that received so many updates, and most people actually didn't have something like the Steam Deck because of the slow launch that it had. It allowed the company to catch up and improve the software before it was mass produced with no wait time. I understand why people feel the need that they should kind of compare those things, but in all honesty, I don't think it's a good faith argument to compare the day 1 year after product with a thing that just came out and it doesn't even have official drivers. Like, come on. Again, for the battery life though, I wouldn't expect too much things from ASUS. The best thing that I would hope for was to work with Microsoft in some solution, but again, ASUS is a really big company. They have a huge range of laptops. They never did this before for any of these. I personally doubt they will do anything more than what we have right now. Maybe the drivers though will be able to run the device more efficient. That is normal. That can happen. But again, I wouldn't have too many hopes for all those things. One other thing about a lot of people that are talking about the buttons, personally, I disagree with most of the things that are being said. I really like the D-pad because it's personal bias as well. But these things are also all personal bias. I really used to like Saturn controller, so having something like this is just perfect for me. Now for the buttons, I had to do some adjusting period, but overall, right now, I can feel that I really like them. I feel that you had to press them kind of a lot of times to get the feel of how it feels great, and that's how I feel right now. No problems really with the triggers. I would prefer if the L1, R1 were somewhat easier to press. And the only thing is sometimes when I get comfortable, my finger, as you can see here, it can hover above the exhaust, and that can get a little bit outsy. But again, this is just my hands are quite big, so that's why it happens. The other thing that I don't think that people get is the desktop controls. The desktop controls, for me, obviously they're not as good as a trackpad that the Steam Deck has. A really good trackpad the Steam Deck has. Even like Steam Deck, honestly, to move around everything feels even better than me using a trackpad on my laptop. So definitely Steam Deck has done a spectacular job about it. But by no means I feel that they actually don't really like to use the RealTime Monitor. I don't really like to use it because the other times that I used it, sometimes it was stuck and it wouldn't pop up. And I'm like, okay, if I have to deal with this, I usually on my computer use the RTSS, that monitoring system, and I really like it. I was able to configure it with the help of a friend from the ROG ALLY Discord. And I can show you actually, I have set it up like how you would expect to see it in how you would expect to see it. Okay, the Steam is updating. Wait a moment. All right. So as you can see, this is how it looks. I will make it even a little bit bigger actually. So I have put at the start the frame rate, the CPU, the GPU usage, memory is the RAM, battery. Now I was like, as you can see, it can calculate the specific picture that I have. I would prefer actually to be minutes, but having the 1.8 hours, so you have to kind of think a little bit differently how the hours work here in your head. But yeah, it's like almost 2 hours. It shows also the TDPUs, the TSPUs, and the temperature. So I believe that this device can be configured even more. Definitely can be configured even more. A little bit patience. I would not advise anyone to listen to all this criticism, especially if they have a good time with it and don't have many problems. Because if you have big problems with the device, then yes, okay, you can return it. But I would not, if you don't have a problem, don't feed into this fear that somehow the device is going to be suddenly bad. I have it now for 4 days. I pretty much experience it like I would experience any gaming laptop. Like I don't have anything different. Setup, everything works exactly like it will be if it was a laptop. And I have had like Steam Deck as well. If you like the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Have a great day.